vlog, that's great. That's what this camera can do very well. So this is obviously the 10 to 18 millimeter lens on here. I'm just standing here in the office shooting a vlog with the camera. I think that, let me show you how wide it can go too. There you go, that's how wide it can get. And this is 18 right here. So at about 16 or so, 16 to 14, that should be your sweet spot for a vlog. And I'm using the internal microphones for this camera just to show you exactly what you could possibly get into if you decide you wanted to grab something like this. I'm going to swing around and let the light shine just from that side, from the outside window. And you can get to see a view of what it might look like for the camera quality. So while this camera isn't brand new, you put a different lens on here. If I buy a Sigma lens and put it on here, the 16 to 18 millimeter in particular, or I can just buy an adapter and put it on here and shoot 1080p, it'll be fantastic with this. And this footage right here isn't bad. It's just when you start to compare it, it looks like it could use some work, but it's really good quality. I think this is great footage. What is going on, guys? It's your man Jay and I'm back with another video. So this is my Canon SL3 and I've had this for 2 years. I originally put this on the chopping block for sale, but I thought, you know what, I'm not gonna cut. I was giving some pretty good deals on these combinations right here. I did sell one of my lenses that I had, which is the 24 millimeter lens. But this lens right here, the 10 to 18, is one of the most popular lenses when it comes to Canon cameras, because the crop on these is so bad, you're going to need a wide angle lens to get even remotely close to getting that quality and distance that you need. So the Canon SL3, believe it or not, is still selling at full cost. Every now and then there's a promo. But overall, this is selling for $700 with the kit lens. This lens right here cost $280 when I initially purchased it. Even at that point, it still wasn't new. So I don't have the kit lens. I ended up buying this body itself for $550, and I moved from the SL2 to the SL3 in hopes that I would stick with Canon and just do everything Canon. But I found that now I could have possibly just upgraded my lens and got a Sigma lens for this one, but I wanted to step out on a limb and I wanted to try Sony. And once I tried Sony, I loved Sony. There's no crop or anything like that. As a matter of fact, right now I'm using the Sony ZV-1 to shoot this video, and I also have still my Sony a6100 and there's my Sigma lens, which I just love so much, man. I mean, this is probably the best thing that I did for myself, was not switching to Sony overall, I guess, but really investing in this lens. This lens costs $399. It'll probably always cost $399 unless you get some kind of promo. I found it for $400 with an SD card when I bought it. But this has been my vlogging setup because the 16 millimeter lens is fantastic. Now, granted, I could have just put a 16 millimeter lens on this camera, but just the quality alone, I think, still wouldn't match this particular Sony a6100. But nonetheless, this quality that I get from the 18 millimeter, 10 to 18 millimeter with the Canon SL3 is actually really good. This is a camera that's very easy to use. And I have a continuous power now. I don't really keep a battery in here because I do continuous power with the plug, because I just use it that way. This setup here is super easy to understand. I got a tempered glass in there that's been on it for a long time. Just the menu and everything is really good on here. This is more user-friendly for beginners with cameras than the Sony, I would say. The Sony is not an advanced system, but it's just it's got a learning curve like going from Windows to Mac. That's the best way I can describe switching from Sony to from Canon to Sony. Now I do use the kit lens on the Sony because it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's still just the regular kit lens, 16 to 50, but the reason I use this is because it is 16 to 50 and not 18 to 55, and that's why I didn't want the kit lens for the Canon. They're 18 to 55. So you get a closer, you're up closer on the camera, which led me years ago to buy this 10 to 18. So instead of selling this, like I said, I left it in the catalog and I've used it for some top-down shots. I've done all kinds of things with this. I've done vlogs with this. I've done predominantly it's been in the mix every now and then for B-roll or those side shots, or just anything. I can have it sitting at an angle down on the camera at a different, on the subject at a different angle, and also personal use. This has kind of become that I'm gonna take photos with this, because the 10-18mm lens is actually a really good lens. It's not just for wide angle video to make this camera come to life. It's actually a really nice lens. And I think you would, if you have the Canon SL3, this should be your first investment, especially if you want to shoot 4K. Because if you don't get this lens, you're going to find yourself really up close with the footage, and you're going to have to make some adjustments by basically sitting farther away from the camera. This lens does have optical image stabilization. And it has autofocus and manual focus. I did manual focus a lot with this lens when I was doing live feeds. But other than that, it has a built-in flash, which is something I miss on the Sony camera that I have. Having the built-in flash, I kind of miss that. But nonetheless, I don't need the flash very often. My favorite combination with this camera was the 24mm lens, which again, I sold that lens because I knew I would be kind of putting this combination down for Sony. But it has a nice viewfinder right here. It's very comfortable to take photos and everything with. I think you'll be hard pressed to dislike this camera. So it's a good starter camera for people. But at this point, there are cameras out there. This costs $599 for the body and $700 with the kit lens. I would recommend, if you just have to have Canon or you want to stay with the Canon ecosystem, if you just want this camera, don't get the kit lens. Go ahead and just get the body for $599, because I got the body for $550 when I bought it. I bought this camera as soon as it launched, and that's when the promos come out. You know, they come out when things just launched. They'll give you $25 off, $50 off, $100, whatever the promo is. And I got it from Best Buy. So basically what I did was I sold my Canon SL2 body, and I've said this probably in other videos. I sold my Canon SL2 body for pretty much full cost. I think I sold it for $500 or something like that. And then I took that $500 and got this body for $550 because I already had lenses and things like that. So this camera is a good camera for vlogging, especially with the wide angle. Getting it open to 10, man, wow, that's really good. I think you would be good with 16, and you can sit close enough. But the quality is what's going to be different. You're going to have this camera in a really bright setting with this lens, and you know, outdoor footage with this is beautiful. Just a bunch of different things to do with this camera can all be done with this combination. If you're a YouTuber, though, speaking to YouTubers at this point, if you're going to use this camera, this lens should be your go-to lens. It's kind of an all-in-one. You get your lighting right, and you can do whatever you want to do with this lens. You really can. It's really good, especially if you're going to be on camera a lot or you're going to be doing top-down shots. This could be your all-in-one lens. This could be your setup. This was my setup for pretty much running my channel for quite some time. It really was. So, yeah, great footage from this camera. Great photos. It's still rocking with no problem. It does have manual mode, but I never use manual mode, if I'm being honest. It seems the controls, they don't seem dated. I mean, this is 2 years old though, but it's got, like, I hadn't used it in about three to 6 months one time, and I was trying to start video, and I was like, why is it taking photos? And I forgot that you had to go all the way over to video. Hey, once you don't use it for a while, it happens. But this is the Canon SL3, and it is still, I could sell this body right now probably I can put it online and sell it for $500 maybe, because brand new it's still selling for $600, so I can at least get $450 for it. But back in the day, I put this up for sale for $600 for this combination right here, and I was giving it away at that point. But this stays because this is a good top-down camera. Depending on what I'm doing, if I want to go vlog in a certain area, I'll just have my continuous power going. I'll plug in a microphone, and a small microphone is compact, and I'll get going. So the Canon SL3, man, it's definitely still a fantastic camera. Some people still have their Canon SL2s. Let me know in the comments if you still have your Canon SL2 or you're still using your Canon SL3 full time. Now, before I get out of here, there are rumors of a Canon SL4 with pretty much the same camera, just it's going to have dual pixel autofocus support in 4K. And pretty much that's it, man. You still have the 24 megapixel camera, third generation with the dual pixel autofocus sensor, 4K UHD, 30 frames per second, and 24 frames per second. And that's going to be one of the big changes, because this doesn't have 4K at 30, it only has 4K at 24. So adding a few things here and there, it'll help it, keep going. They'll sell them, because there are Canon fans, there are Sony fans, there are every brand you can think of, there's a fan for it. So you choose. I chose to switch over and go ahead and start rocking with Sigma and Sony, and this was probably the best thing that I did for myself right there. That f1.4 is top notch. So it's your man Jay, hope you guys enjoyed. Yes, the Canon SL3 is still a very good camera to use in 2021 for YouTube, for regular life, for photos, for videos. You can do it all. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.